Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday Night Music Show. I brought up some topics that we might struggle with tonight. We might be fine with them, but we were talking about them a little bit before the show, talking about B sections of songs and breaks in songs. Breaks for the song, the parts of the song sometimes that you might hear a lot in hip hop or even dance music, where they'll take an older song, they'll take a loop, and they'll loop the break. Hip hop's been doing it forever, right?
Amen, brother.
Yes, I have.
That's one of them.
then there's also there's Amen Brothers, one of them, and then there are other things, B sections that are guitar solos and rock songs sometimes, and sometimes they're really interesting and they stand out as crowd pleasing things. The example that I gave off camera was the "Gonna Let It Rock, Let It Roll" part of Jack and Diane by John Cougar. I just didn't know if you guys had any breaks that you really liked or any B sections that you thought really stood out and you thought were kind of iconic and you dug. And it doesn't have to be necessarily for DJing, but just stuff you like.
Oh man, I got some hell of a breaks. I like a lot of them.
What do you got?
Well, first of all, you can start with the funky drummer from James Brown that's been sampled. Okay. Well, Public Enemy sampled it, and used it in a song. But then later, Madonna sampled it and used it for "Justify My Love."
Yeah, well, that's a weird one because it was funky
slowed
drummer.
down a little bit. Yeah,
it was funky drummer, and it was an Ingrid Chavez poem.
Mm-hmm.
And Lenny Kravitz put that together. That was a really interesting one.
Yeah,
and I personally, one of my favorites.
Yes,
absolute favorites.
I don't get to play it enough, but it's definitely one of my favorite breaks.
What did Public Enemy call that instrumental they put together with Funky Drummer? There's a name for it, and I can't remember the name of it. They didn't call it Funky Drummer. They used Funky Drummer into their own thing with it.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of the song they use right now.
They dropped the bass in there, that doo doo doo. They dropped all that.
Yeah, give me a few minutes to think of it, but I can't.
You'll come up with it. But I know there's a name for that, and it was a little break on the album, just between tracks.
Mm-hmm. But that's one of my most popular breaks that I love. So
I love it too.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about songs that are good, and then all of a sudden something happens kind of between those last two verses, and it's like, is this the same song? And the one I was thinking about that's almost totally different, but it's really cool, is Billy Idol's "Eyes Without a Face." Because it's this nice slow song, and then all of a sudden you get towards the end and this guitar kicks in and he goes into this like almost a rap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for a song like that, it's almost a left turn because it's like,
it is.
Didn't see that coming. You thought it was just going to be a ballad the whole way through. So.
And then it just goes back in real smooth into a final verse and chorus. But I don't know, that's one that I was thinking about. Do you have something, Eric, that you would like to share with the class? An interesting B section or break in a song?
I've got a couple, but I'll do one and then maybe.
Yeah, we'll go round and around until we're exhausted.
I was thinking, "Want to Be Starting Something," Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Where he goes down at the end, "Mama say, mama, whatever, Makusa."
Soul Makusa. That. Yes.
Yes.
There's a song called Soul Makusa. Who the hell does that song, damn it? Do you know?
No, I don't know who did.
It's an old disco song, and that's where Michael Jackson stole that from.
Yes.
But yes.
Right. Yeah. But that's the one that came right away to me when you were bringing this up.
With the hand claps?
Yeah,
Yes.
like at the end. Well, right near the end, and then it goes back into what he was doing.
Right.
And then it had to fade.
He's like doing an outro, then all of a sudden, gonna say, Soul Makusa. Boom, boom.
So this is what you were looking for. So,
that's a break all day. That is a break.
All right.
A B section structured as a break.
Speaking of that, how many times have you guys looped that? Just that
on and on and on and on.
Just enough to get out of the song.
Yeah. I mean, that was a hit on the dance floor. You just be like, okay, I just got to loop this section a little bit longer. I need another 45 seconds of this.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the BPM changes a bit when he breaks into that. Then it goes back down a little. I'll have to check that.
Who the hell does that song?
I think it still stayed up around 118, between like 118 and 116, depending on the BPMs of that. Roughly.
Odyssey? I don't know. I'm trying to think of the band. Remember it from back in the day. But
it's It's Manu Dibango.
Yeah, that just rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah, that's why I knew what that was.
Yeah, I would have never got.
I like to buy a vowel. Yeah,
right. Manny Dibango.
Keep trying. Best 2 out of 3.
Makusa.
Yeah.
So Makusa.
I just
Very
remember having
different.
2 copies of that record and just looping the hell out of it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah, it went away for a bit. Then Rihanna brought it back, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're playing this song again. Looks
Yeah,
like,
that's right. And Don't Stop the Music. She brought that back. Yeah. John, throw something at us. What do you got? What's cool?
Well, B sections, they should serve the song, but if it's not like the verse and the chorus, if the tail end of the song goes in a different direction, that's cool. That's like you say that the John Cougar one is probably like a prime example of that. How it's just it's a whole different breakdown.
Yeah,
a little bitty bit, but then it resolves. It comes back to the song to close out. Like if you I don't know, if you take something like Paradise by the Dashboard Light, right? It's
that's all. Yeah,
it's got that whole midsection of just you almost want to jump over it, but you can't because that's the iconic part. People want
that's the part everybody wants.
They want to shout at each other back and forth across the dance floor. If you ever did like a boys versus girls dance in the 80s or 90s, they wanted to hear the whole thing all the way up to stop right there. Then if you got brave to mix out of it, everyone got mad. It's like, no, we want to hear the rest of it. I want to know right now why you didn't play the rest of the song. Right. You have to let that roll. I mean, that's just too iconic to tear apart. But we look for spots where we can get out of stuff. That's you know that you're into an opus. When you start a 7-minute opus, you're going to play the whole thing. You're not.
I don't know, John. Let me sleep on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to right now, Eric.
That song just reminds me of toilet paper because that's what I use that song for. Going
it was like the original bathroom break song. That's Stairway to Heaven. Like, I'll be back in 8 minutes. See you later. Yeah.
No, that was Tainted Love Soft Cell for me.
That's 2 different songs.
That's the Where Did Our Love Go ending, right? If you play it all the way to the end, it got a different break at the end and then a whole different vibe.
Yeah.
The one my son-in-law loves, absolutely loves, and he's not even a rock. He's more of a rocker, but he likes the end of Kool and the Gang's Ladies Night because it's like a completely different song. It changes.
Yes.
From, oh yes, it's Ladies Night. This is your night tonight.
Oh, completely. Yeah, you try mixing out of that. Good luck.
Well, it's not quantized.
The drummer was a little, excited.
It's
more
cool,
so as it went on. Yeah. That's hard to mix out of unless you got a regrid.
You mentioned one too, John, when we were talking about this off camera. Dex's Midnight Runners, Come On Eileen.
Yeah, that's a whole full stop mid song and then build it back from
to nothing and then builds up like triple time or quadruple time and then goes back to where it's supposed to go.
Right.
When you're playing that as a DJ, people go nuts during that part.
Yes.
Right. And it's really hard to mix out of something.
Hear.
It's hard to mix out with a climbing BPM. It's like
and they're clapping their hands and
that's another investment. You have to play that all the way through to the end.
That's the exciting part. And the other one I was thinking about just from way back, the hand clap thing. The break in Billy Idol's Moany Moany was like that too.
Oh,
yeah.
Like they're waiting for that part. And they're all clap.
They all want that. They all want to
clap, 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 clap. So,
yeah.
Cool stuff. It's just stuff to think about as a DJ when you're playing tracks.
Yeah. Well, songs have changed completely. Remember, like Need You Tonight, if you let that roll all the way to the end through that Mediate song?
Oh, yeah. The Mediate's almost a different track. Yeah.
I just thought of another one, but
how do we get... It's like, well, I was trying to mix out a Need You Tonight, but now we're in,
right.
Kate, and it's like, I got to get out of this beat because now it's a different beat.
Yeah, that's this weird the Bob Dylan thing going on here.
Yeah, with all the flashcards. Yeah.
Eric, you had
no. Damon's next.
No, go ahead.
We're going in whatever order we need to go in.
Freestyle.
I was thinking Long Time by Boston.
Yeah. Well, that one's weird because you got foreplay at the beginning, and that's crazy.
And then you go down, and it's just taking my time with the,
Those are those.
Totally
I
different.
think on those, I think we would consider that the chorus of the song, wouldn't we?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was coming off of folk, like the tail end of the 60s. Boston hit what, 76, 7, right? And it was, those bands were still playing on the radio with their 12 strings, and then this came along. So you kind of lead them into that.
That was the chorus.
But yeah, taking my time.
But that's a break. And yeah, that's the part where they're clapping their hands and stuff. So it's the chorus, yet it's kind of got that break feel to it. It almost does. Because it's different than the rest of the song. You're right.
I don't know.
You're absolutely right. No, you're right. You're right. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share with the class?
Sure. Let's take Paula Abdul. Yeah, we'll take the Do You Love Me part that's in Do You Love Me? That whole change at the tail end of whatever her one was. What's the name of that one again?
Straight up.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Verse, chorus, B section. It's like, oh, this is different. I guess this is where we mix out of it. Because that's the reason we started talking this.
You brought up one before we started recording, John, was Come On Eileen. That's another one. I
just said that, fool.
Yeah, we did that one. No, Turning Japanese was the other.
Turning Japanese. Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
No sex, no drugs, no wine.
No wine, no women.
Yeah, that's just a whole different tempo of the song. It just comes in. It's kind of like a doorstop, like, all right. And then it resolves back to close.
How about Rapture by Blondie?
I would give that break status. Yeah. I don't know.
She goes into the rap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Starts off singing and then breaks into this rap that, to me, I think that was probably the first rap song ever.
It was the first. It was the first rap song to top 40.
Yeah.
Or top 10 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. And
not bad for a little New Yorker girl who used to sing reggae 6 weeks before that.
Well, I mean, that whole thing is very interesting when you look at what was really going on in the part of town that she was hanging out in, because she was East Village.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of stuff going on down there. You had stuff going on in Bronx, and you had stuff going on in East Village. And for some reason, those two tribes got along really well. And they did some really cool stuff together, especially in those very early 80s. There was some really, really neat stuff. You had Africa Bambaataa, he was downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had, like, Flash and them, they were uptown, but they would kick it with each other. She even shouts out Fab Five Freddy and Grandmaster Flash and Rapture.
See, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat just a little bit. This was a single, but it was medley of a bunch of hits.
Okay.
And just when you think, oh my God, I love this, bang, it goes into Swing the Mood, Jive Bunny. That had
those are all kind of like breaks. Yeah.
Right. And it was one single.
Mm-hmm.
But it just kept going bang, bang.
Mm-hmm.
It was rapid fire.
Or hooks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one does it. And the other one that does it like that, where it's just hook after hook after hook from the songs that I like, and nobody ever says anything about this song but me. It starts on 45's medley.
I love that.
Medley. Yeah.
I love that one.
That's a good way to knock out
a lot of Beatles. The Grease medley. That's another one that goes in and out of everything.
Bobby D from Chicago did that for Jock Jams. And here's the issue I have with it as a mobile DJ. So the Grease medley, basically it's 3 songs. It's Summer Lovin', Grease Lightning, and You're the One That I Want. Those are the 3 songs in that. That's it.
Where's the part that come up with the...
I don't know.
I don't know where they got that from, but I mean...
I don't know.
That's huge, and you can't cut that out, because when you play it, they want that part, and they all do it,
I get more traction out of just doing Summer Lovin' and then You're the One That I Want back to back than I do the medley.
Yeah.
Because Grease Lightning I never get anything from. I've never played that song as a standalone song.
Yeah. Have you? Grease Lightning has the clapping break where they're,
Right.
That's real fast. That's how they get into Summer Lovin' to come in, boom, 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 boom. That's
okay. That makes sense now that I'm thinking about it. And the reason I don't know this, kids, is because I hate musicals. Putting it out there. So I haven't watched the movie like you have.
If you take the intro notes from Summer Lovin' and play it with One Direction, that they actually line up. It's the same song. The
I got
She Don't Know She's Beautiful or is the same. Boom. Boom,
Oh.
boom, boom,
I got a video of Brian.
Wouldn't Cake by the Ocean be real similar to that too?
Probably.
Yeah. Doom, doom, doom,
Yeah, that's just key play, just playing with the.
It's all within the same. Yeah.
Okay, I got two more, but I want somebody else to go.
No, I want to hear what you
Hey, you guys got me on a roll.
Yeah,
I like it when you're on a roll.
That part of your brain. Yeah.
You may disagree with this. You may disagree with both of them, but I'm going to go with it anyway. ABBA, the name of the game.
Okay.
If you think about that song, she starts off mellow, goes high, then she goes into this just a beat with her singing. It's all over the map, I think, that song. Mm-hmm. If you don't know it, maybe we can play it after the. I'm sure we all know it, but
you know it.
You'd have to hear it to know what I'm saying. And the other one was Anticipation, Carly Simon.
Yeah.
I believe there's a B part in that too.
There is.
Yeah.
You know, I thought John would have a lot of fun with this because, I mean, in the rock and roll world, it's all about the guitar solo.
Rock does a whole
all the solos are the change of the song. Like before the show we were talking, I played Rocket Queen for Iron Man Jim, one of our guys, Officer Jim, and it's a whole song, and then it's a breakdown towards the end, and it's basically another minute and a half different song to close the song.
Right.
Yeah. I seen you standing on your own. It's doesn't really fit the song, and it should probably be it was probably an unfinished song that they just kind of stitched together, kind of like the Beatles did on the backside of Abbey Road, when they just put a whole bunch of bits and pieces together.
Were you the one who mentioned Day in the Life? Yeah,
we talked about that. Yeah, it's just like when
woke up, got out of bed, dragged a comb across my head.
Yeah, very different.
Oh no, I'm a walrus. That's what it is.
No, that's Day in the Life.
Day in the Life. Okay.
Today, oh boy. John starts it off and he's very echoey, and then it kind of goes into this trippy thing, and then Paul's alarm clock goes off, and
Paul's
drag the comb across my head.
Right.
It's just like, that's not the same song. What just happened here?
Right. It goes back to like vaudeville almost.
But again, that's iconic. Yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of a song and dance, man. Like I could see it on the stage, and the spotlight goes off on one guy and comes on the other guy, and he's doing his own little thing. And that's gives you those good little pieces of songs to figure out. I mean, and for us as DJs, we don't want to play too long of a song, but we don't want to deny the crowd the part that matters. Like if the B section is what really holds it all together, you can't cut some stuff short. You have
Here's one for Damon. This is a Detroit, one of your Detroit royalty people. What about the break in old time rock and roll? The clapping break in old time rock and roll.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Audiences go crazy over that. Like if you got an audience who wants to hear that song, that's the part where it just goes almost a cappella with him.
Yeah, you almost get shot if you certain crowds you would definitely almost get shot with over that if you cut that off.
And you should have an inflatable saxophone you can get up and dance around with too, because that really makes it that solo era.
Yeah.
See, once you start thinking about it, like Shut Up and Dance, that's one.
Yeah, a lot of songs have it.
Yeah, a lot of them do have.
Shut Up and Dance has that break.
Snake, Here I Go Again. Is that one or no?
It's got a guitar solo in it. Yeah, that's a break.
Maybe I'm imagining.
You hear it in my head.
Yeah. No One Like You, the Scorpions.
Yeah, another good song. I mean, all those rock songs have good. It's the structure of that kind of rock.
Yes, like Hopelessly in Love, Journey, right? It's the whole song, and then the party's over. The ending. It's like, where did that come from? That doesn't even fit.
That's weird.
It's like that's just like a C section. That's
Here
even further deep.
Here we go. I got the ultimate, and Damon's gonna love this one. Orange Juice Jones, The Rain. He breaks into the rap at the end. Nobody
Stone Cold Busted.
Yeah. Right when it's not the B section of that song, when he breaks into the rap at the end.
Yeah, it's a break.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's an R&B dance song. I wouldn't expect a rap to sneak in at the end. I'm like, wait a second, who's this cat talking?
Yeah.
Like, close your mouth, because you called busted. I'm like, wait, what? Just happened.
When I'm thinking of like iconic B sections, there's a song that just comes to mind that has not one but two of them. And they're back to back, and they're bridged together, of all things, with a chorus. and that's the Nax My Sharona.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
It's got two really good ones. It comes in with the guitar solo, with all the hi-hat, and then they do the My Sharona thing, and then it goes back into that don, 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 don. They're both really good.
Mm-hmm.
And heavy guitar solo things, but I like
Well, Blitz, the Sweet.
I'm trying to think of that B section in that.
Yeah.
It's there, yeah.
It's there, my friend. It's there.
I believe you. I believe
as much as you dislike musicals, you'd have to throw a flag out for Grease. I mean, that's got how many different sections that it's like basically 4 different songs all.
You talking about the Frankie Valli song?
No, the one that Barry Gibb wrote. Yeah,
for Frankie Valli.
The word dun dun dun. It's like, oh, it's a disco. Oh, wait a second. No, now it's funky.
Song,
wait a second. Now it's this.
that song is like I was counting the hooks in that song, and I got to 14, and I know there's more, but it's insane the amount of hooks that are in that song. You can make a whole album off of that song.
Probably.
Different songs,
and none of them sound like
so
the 50s, which was the movie it was attached to.
No,
20
no, sound like it should have been on an Andy Gibb album.
Yeah,
but incredible stuff.
It was the Andy Gibb quilt, all the songs he threw away that he didn't want. Like, well, you know what? we're gonna resurrect all those little quilts.
Sorry, kid, we're gonna use all this.
Yeah, every single one of them.
I got one more. It was sung by David Lee Roth and Roy Orbison, Pretty Woman. At the end, it goes into that little with just the drums.
Oh yeah, that's the break.
And she's come to me. Whatever.
She's walking back to me. Yeah, that's the break.
That's not a
break in the track.
Is that a B section? I think
it's a break.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you call that a break?
I don't know.
But wait.
It's to kick some energy. Yeah, they stripped it down to the acapella and a drum and then built everything back in again.
Give me a break, Brian. Give me a break.
I'm giving you a break. You can thank Roy Orbison for that break.
Yeah. I don't think we got it as much in disco songs because the whole key was to try to keep the time and the tempo for as long as possible. They didn't do too many switch ups. But when we got into the 80s and we had songs that just took these sharp turns on you, it was maybe the the evolution of new wave and how those.
I just thought of a really cool break in a disco song, and the disco song is structured like a rock song, which is what's unusual about it, and that would be Donna Summer Hot Stuff.
With
that break when she goes hot stuff.
All right.
Hot.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a B section because that's not verse or chorus. It's different.
Right.
But that made it interesting. And I'll do that. I'll let that roll. I won't cut that short.
Yeah. No, you got to leave that in. The radio edit cut it, which was the annoying part of the radio edit. You put the 12 inch on, you get that part.
Well, radio is all about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah. That was their formula. Every song, 3 minutes, 30 seconds.
It's the 3 minutes and 40 seconds they pick that bugs me sometimes. Like,
exactly.
That part in.
Yeah, because you left all the space and you took out the good stuff. Yeah.
There's weird ones, but it's like you couldn't have left that in. It's like 2 seconds. I think it was Duran Duran Skin Trade. It's like they screwed that song all up. And I think they did the same thing to NXS Never Tear Us Apart on the radio. They took something out that just made the time signature weird or something. Sometimes they do a great job with it, but sometimes I think they dropped the ball on it. What do I know?
Well, how about this, B? We get you open reel, and you can get the tape and cut it up and edit the way
I see fit,
the way it was meant to be.
That's right.
The power of technology.
The masters of that. I'll cut them up, and I'll take care of it.
I'm going to make it sound the way it should have sounded 30 years ago.
That's right.
We're
not speeding anything up.
No.
We're just going to let it breathe. But no, I thought it was an interesting topic and worth some time. There was some other stuff that we were talking about, maybe discussing here tonight. What were those things? I can't remember. We had other topic.
We had said, the B section is essential that it has to be there, like you said, in the Jack and Diane or in certain songs like you don't want to mess with. So it was about how far into the song do you play, and you have to recognize those ones, like we said earlier, that to know which ones have to be there and which ones you can skip over.
Those are the iconic ones. Those are the ones that I think are just so good, and the audience loves them. The other one that, and this is all cheesy stuff, but Love Shack's B section, the bang 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 on the door, baby.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to leave that part in. You can't not put that in. That's the part they go crazy over.
Mm-hmm.
Louder.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang on the door, baby.
Not gonna
I can't hear you.
Yeah, that's the part, man.
That's a sing-along. Yeah. Don't mess with sing-alongs.
Same thing with the meatloaf that you already brought up, you know. They're all gonna, you know, you can't leave that out. I mean, it's, you know.
Yeah. But it's not the rest of the song. It's just different. So those are the kind of, I don't know, I'm just thinking about it. There's hundreds of thousands of these. We're just mentioning a few that we think are cool.
Yeah. You know who's really good at B sections? It was Huey Lewis. John Young will appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like in Power of Love, when you get to that end part, they say that all in love is fair, but you know, it's like that didn't show up until now. Where did that come from? You know, he was good with those weird, you know,
it's
dropping B sections, but it's kind of a Motown-y tune.
Do you believe in love? I think he had
that's a sax solo.
Yeah,
on that sax solo and a lot of wee u's. Mutt Lang wrote that.
Wee oo,
good song. Wee oo. A lot of wee oo's. That's for our anime friends that like.
Now, Heart and Soul has a great break, but that's not a Huey Lewis song. That's actually an Exile song.
But it also has that in the middle. Yeah, yeah.
But Exile wrote that, so we can't give that to Huey Lewis or the News.
Sorry, Huey.
Yeah, Exile gets all the credit for that one.
Did they ever record it?
Yeah. In fact, the story on that one, back in the early 80s, when you bought like a new Ford, if it had a stereo in it, you would get a Ford tape. Yeah. All these songs on there you never heard of. Yeah. And one of the songs was Exile, Heart and Soul, and that's how Huey Lewis heard it and decided they should do it.
I'd like to hear that after the show. I don't think
Exile's version of Heart and Soul? Sure, yeah, we'll play it.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard that one.
No, you just force-fed that. It was kind of like U2's album when the iPhones were big. You know, it's like, why do we have this? Where did this record come from? Why is
it here? Yeah, it's very parallel universe stuff. The weird one, the really weird one is, I forget who he is, who the artist is, but it's somebody else doing Robbie Neville's C'est La Vie. It's very odd to hear, and it came out before Robbie Neville's version came out. But here's the goofy part. Robbie Neville wrote it. And he gave it to this guy who recorded it, and then he took it back and recorded it himself.
No, it did well enough that he's like, you know what? I'm going to get paid twice.
Yeah, it's weird to hear that stuff that you thought. I thought this is an original song by this artist, but it turns out it's a remake, or, you know. But so hey, maybe that's an interesting topic for the second part of the show. Songs that are remakes. Maybe you knew it, maybe you didn't. How about that?
I could start with Joan Jett, and there's about 10 of them.
All of them.
I think she wrote one. I think.
What song did she write? What song was that? Because I think every Joan Jett song is a remake.
It's essentially a cover,
or a cover,
terrible cover from something in the 50s. Everything from Crimson Clover to I Love Rock and Roll.
You want to touch me? I don't think that
cover. That's Gary Glitter.
Was it?
Gary Glitter.
Well, the music maybe, but the words.
No, it's the exact same.
It's the cover.
We'll play Gary Glitter after class, but yeah, we don't talk about him anymore.
Oh, you got me there. All right.
Yeah, the only thing Joan Jett changed in I Love Rock and Roll was I knew she must have been about 17 as I knew he must have been about 17. That was the extent of the lyrical change in a Joan.
That made her a cougar and not a predator. So
yeah, right. Yeah, she was famous for that. There's a lot of them that, you know, you think, oh, well, this is a great song. It's the one that a lot of people don't know about, which is weird to me, but it's true. No doubt, It's My Life. That's a remake. That's a Talk song.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that.
No, I knew that.
Of course you knew that.
No, I knew that, but I like No Doubt's a little better, honestly. That's
yeah, for sure. But yeah, Kevin put in Fast Car, the new country cover. That was a true song. Some people don't know the original or that it ever existed before a year ago.
Was
Like,
that? Was it?
Tracy
Is it Luke
Chapman.
Combs who does that song now?
Yeah, I think it might be. Yeah, it's
Oh,
one
yeah,
of the-
Tracy Chapman. That was her
Yeah,
jam.
he does a good version of it though. I've heard it. He doesn't do. He didn't chop it up enough.
No, but I mean that's not where it was born. I mean, it existed way back in the '90s, and we had a version of it before that. And the kids today are like, I never heard the old one.
When a song is that true to form, I have to ask myself, was a remake necessary?
Right. Sometimes you got to leave it alone.
Well, no, it's so true to form. It's like, well, what was wrong with just playing the original?
Well, she
You got
wrote
some mileage out of
it. It put it on the country radio stations, and
Yeah.
she got paid. That was the important.
Should have
thing.
been there in the first place.
She was. If she's got writing credits on that, she made a ton of money with him.
She's a Boston girl, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. She's here 617, of course. A lot of Boston love.
There's
Us Tea Party people.
sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes people will do a cover remake, and there is one remake that I really love. She did a great job. Stacey Lattisaw, Love on and 2A Street. I
Yes.
love that way better than the original. That's
The original
just my
was-
opinion.
Yeah.
It wasn't Delphonic. Who did the original?
Yeah.
It's something like that, though. It's very.
It
similar
was
to
something
Delphonics.
like that.
I thought it was Delphonics.
It was one of those falsetto,
Yeah.
Motown bands or something.
But she did a great job on that. And I don't even think people knew the original.
It's by a band called The Moments.
Okay. All right. Well, close.
Were they
Okay.
Magic Moments?
Were they Detroit? Sorry.
Probably Detroit.
Well, no, here's a song that a lot of people didn't know. The original was Twist and Shout by the Isley Brothers.
Well, that was Isley and then the Beatles. And
Right. But how many people really nowadays know that Isley did it?
Right.
even Shaggy kind of did a twist and
I
shout.
mean, think
Yeah.
about it.
Right.
The Isley version came out in like late 50s. A few years before the Beatles even covered it, and then everybody else. So that's one.
Even Elvis Presley's
Yeah.
Hound Dog is a cover.
Exactly.
It's just
He was the original Joan Jett. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
taking all kinds of everything out
well,
of
he
Sun
had his
Records,
own
I think.
songs, but I mean
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one wasn't
writers.
one of them. Yeah.
No.
That
Carl
was not one of
Perkins
the
writing
songs.
stuff for him and everybody else. So
So what are the Beatles cover songs? There was a lot of them in the early days.
they did
You just said Twist and Shout.
Twist and Shout.
they did Rock and Roll Music, which came out of Chuck Berry.
Yes.
Roll
yes.
Over Beethoven,
Roll Over
which I think
Beethoven.
also came from
Another
Chuck Berry.
Yeah, they like Chuck Berry.
Yeah,
They like
Long
him a
Tongue
lot.
Sally. So that was a Little
That was
Richard
Little Richard.
cover. Yeah, mostly the early stuff when they just came off of being Quarrymen, when they just signed
Yeah.
George and went, into the studio. They just all knew how to play that because
Like
they
they have
were
Love Me
bar
Do
band.
and She Loves You. That's it.
That's theirs. Yeah.
That's your songs. What's the others? P.S. I Love You, I think was their song too.
That's theirs. Yep.
But yeah, a lot of that stuff was cover. And the Rolling Stones, my understanding is they were a blues cover band. And somebody told them, hey,
Yeah.
you guys are really good, but maybe you should write some of your own songs sometime. So they did, and they were amazing.
Dancing in the streets with David Bowie. They
That was Martha and somebody.
Martha and Vandell.
Vandella. Yeah.
One of them. Yeah.
And either Smokey Robinson or Barry Gordy wrote that. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of them, or maybe Marvin Gaye. I don't know. There were like
Speaking of
There's all the
three
same
or
writing
four
team.
like really good guys there who wrote everything.
Yeah.
Speaking of Smokey Robinson, we had Huey Lewis with Cruising.
Yes.
Another
That's Smokey.
remake. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huey Lewis and Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a great song that no one heard outside of Australia or a really desperate VHS rental, 25 years ago.
You know when that song actually became famous with that version it was a movie about a karaoke contest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duets.
Right. Yes.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's when it blew up.
Well, yeah, that was what it was made for.
Yeah.
There's a really bizarre part of that movie that I'll tell you about off camera about somebody I know who was the consultant on that film, who was in the film.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, I actually like that.
Somebody we know.
Right.
So, or I know.
You
guys
love
don't know.
insider information. That's always great.
Here, I want track 3 on this. Now, that was a great movie. That was great.
It was a silly
What
movie,
is that,
but I enjoyed
karate?
it.
What is that, karaoke?
Yeah. So
Remember
Paul
he did that
Giamatti
karate?
and
Yeah.
Huey Lewis and Gwyneth Paltrow, and it's a very odd cast and not a great film, but an interesting film. It was a fun watch. I got a kick out of it. And then we get to hear Gwyneth Paltrow do Betty Davis Eyes, which is awful, by the way. And that's a remake too.
That's also a remake.
Yes.
You played
Kim Carnes did not do that originally. It was kind of a, I don't know, kind of like a
70s trippy tune, wasn't it?
Kind of an old timey sounding song.
More like 50s or 60s even. Yeah.
It sounded very throwback.
It was not a good. I like Kim Carnes a lot better.
Me too. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
It's not like something you'd hear at a ice cream parlor in the 1920s. And then
right.
Yeah. So, yeah, weird show topic tonight. We can cut it early, guys. We don't have to go a whole hour.
All right, let's get out of here. Let's get out. I need a cigarette.
Get out of here. Bill's here screwing everything up, so we'll get out of here.
Where's the fork, Eric? You got forks? You gotta get your props ready in your house. I don't know, man. What the fork?
Hey, this is close enough. Put a fork in it. All right.
All right, kids. We will see you. Actually, we will not be recording next week because most of us will be gone.
Yeah.
In Atlantic City.
I'll miss you guys.
Well, we'll miss you too, but it doesn't matter to most people who are watching this because the stuff gets put up rando anyway. So, but yeah, in real time, we're going to be gone next week, but you'll see something else we recorded next week. Probably something we did 3 weeks ago.